All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Give Us a Break podcast, man. We've been gone for some time. Christmas kind of wiped us out. New Year's kind of wiped us out. Life just happened. We've been gone. But me and the fellas are back, man. I got my dog Lefty.
Yo.
And I got my dog G.
Yeah.
So look, man, what the hell y'all been up to, man? We've been gone for like a month. What y'all been up to, man?
Man, working.
Pretty much. That's all it is.
It's just been a lot going on, man. Like, you know, I had a birthday in December. I already knew, like, late November all the way to, like, mid-January was going to be hectic.
Yeah.
I already knew it. Like, it was, like, impossible to stay on track with any type of schedule. Like, I've been winging it the last, like, 4 or 5 weeks. I've just been winging it. So, yeah.
Working, man.
Definitely keeping up with these sports, though.
Yeah, these sports been going stupid. These shit's been going crazy, man. Yeah, Def had a birthday 2 weeks ago and just been trying to get, you know, into the new work schedule. You know, life been crazy, but, you know, in the words of Future, life is good. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
That's what I can say it as, man. So, look, Left, what you been up to? I ain't going to leave you out. You got the ramen shirt on. You been eating ramen? You been eating good?
Nah, man. Apparently, I've been eating good for years. But I've just been working, you know. I had recently got my car last month. So,
hey,
back on the road again.
Raise the roof. No more moped.
2010 Cobalt.
That's litty.
Yeah, all right. Working on that.
All right. I feel like we got to get the elephant out of the room first. And I'm going to let Left, you're going to take the wheel on this one because you are the Rockets fan. I don't know if you're a Nets fan now. We all know the James Harden thing happened about a week and a half ago. You know, the biggest thing that I think is crazy is, you know, every time a superstar get traded, when something goes wrong, everybody always wants to highlight the negative but not the positive. And, you know, losing to the Cavs twice, I don't want to consider that a negative, really. I mean, they got to get together. Kyrie wasn't there. But, you know, how you feeling about James Harden being on the Nets of all teams?
I mean, that's the highway to a chip at this point. You know, being that LeBron is no longer in the East, the only real juggernaut they claim is Giannis. And from recent memory, people can see that Giannis ain't it. I ain't got to worry about the Bucks to get to the chip. I can get right past them. So why not load on the East? You're dealing with a young Boston, an inconsistent Toronto, Miami, probably a play away. So you figure that's a fast track. And you got Kyrie and KD over there. Why not? Why would I not go anywhere else? Going to Philly is dealing with the same situation as you were currently with Houston. You're on a good team behind a better team. Brooklyn would have naturally been the better team than Philly, so you'd have been chasing and losing to Philly every time. So why go there? I'd rather just go to the juggernaut and ride it out from there.
G, you look like you wanted to say something and interrupt them.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing bad. I was just going to touch on what he just said. I was agreeing with him just to piggyback off of it. Like, there's been a lot of negativity around Harden lately because of the decision he made, you know, to demand the trade and then end up in Brooklyn. But nobody's talking about how happy he actually is. Like, they haven't gotten off to the best start because it's chemistry. You putting a whole new superstar into your system or lack thereof. So there's going to be, you know, you're going to have bad games. But ultimately, I love the James Harden to Brooklyn move because his tenure in Houston was long overdue. Long overdue. They was giving him everything he wanted, everything he asked for, but he just couldn't win. That's the number one option. Let's just call a spade a spade. He is a pure bucket. We know that. We're not taking that away from him. But there's more than just scoring. LeBron showed us that. He shows us that consistently. It's more than just scoring. But now that he's playing behind Kevin Durant, he doesn't have the pressure of having to be that guy because Kevin Durant has the pressure of being that guy. And then he's playing with Kyrie Irving. They have a solid three. My problem is they don't have any bench depth, but that's something you can build over time. You can build that. You trade a couple pieces. You give away some picks you don't need because you have the next 3 years set. Your team is set the next 3 years. Your core is there the next 3 years. So you build around that core and you try to capitalize off of that. You get the small pieces. You have players that people want to come play with. So even if you don't win this year in the offseason, you attract some free agents.
Yeah,
because the Lakers are rolling. Let's be real. The Lakers are going to win again. They're rolling. Like they are 100%. They're here. This is their team. They're here. So let's be real here. If anybody is going to be the Lakers that's going to win this year. So, just build your chemistry, chalk it up, and build a good bench in the offseason because as they stand right now, they're not going to win without depth. They're going to burn out by like game 5.
Yeah, and I think the craziest thing for me, looking at the rumors now with them trying to acquire, either Drummond, Kevin Love, or JaVale McGee, or a combination of some two, Kevin Love's contract is like hell. So you're adding another bad contract. I won't call Kevin Love a superstar. We've had this argument about a star versus superstar. Kevin Love was a superstar, but he's more of a star now with how the injuries have set him back and things of that nature. But I do feel like he's due to leave the Cavaliers. I don't know if Brooklyn is the right fit for him. I just think that, it's odd that Brooklyn decided to give up on Jared Allen so fast in favor of DeAndre Jordan, but they didn't have a backup big, really. Jeff Green has always been, a solid man. He's played with James Harden and KD from OKC before he went to Boston and other places. But I do think, giving up the rest of that depth, I think Karis LeVert deserved to leave. And as unfortunate as it is, he has that mass on his knee. If he didn't get traded, he wouldn't have that chance. So I'm happy for Karis LeVert moving to Indiana. Looking at the overall trade, I definitely think, Brooklyn got enough away to make that deal look good. At least make themselves look good enough in the trade. You got a superstar out of it. You gave up a young player who's superstar worthy in Karis LeVert, in my opinion. The Rockets got Oladipo out of it. So I think everybody won, realistically. It just sucks that LeVert's going to be out for a while. But looking at that Cavs roster now, I kind of want to sidetrack a little bit. Do y'all think the Cavs are a playoff team now? Like, even just an 8 seed? Even just at 8?
No. Four.
And I think what's crazy is, the whole Kevin Porter Jr. thing happened. And, Kevin Porter's now in Houston, even though he wasn't included in the deal originally. He's been traded for a second-round pick because he had a tirade about his locker being given to Taurean Prince, who came over in that Brooklyn deal. That was a piece of scoring for them. I don't know if Darius Garland's been playing this season. I don't know if he's hurt. I haven't really heard too much about him.
He's been in and out.
So, yeah, I do agree with you. They do need better guard play. I think they just had to take Jared Allen for face value. I think this is Drummond's last year, his contract. So they just had to do something at face value. They had to get something rather than nothing, obviously. I don't know if they're going to move Drummond's contract. There's rumors he's going to the Lakers. So, I think –
because I believe Jared Allen's a free agent as well at the end of the season. So they're going to have to move him. Jared Allen's the younger big. Yeah, do the same thing. I'd rather take younger than more notable at this point.
I think Jared Allen, the combo of him and McGee together is a lot better than Drummond, who we know isn't really an offensive masterpiece. He's just a rebounding great, if you will. He just gets boards. That's all he can really do.
He is. We've seen him handle the ball and look like his controller turned off.
And, with Cleveland, I just thought they don't have enough because they're not even better than Charlotte, who I like. Gordon Hayward, he reminded us, y'all forgot who I was. He was in bad situations the last couple of years. It was way too much depth around him for him to actually flourish. And then he had the leg injury. We forgot who he was these last couple of years because he wasn't able to show us. But now being the number one option in Charlotte, he's showing us hey, I'm still here. With the addition of LaMelo, and their team plays pretty solid defense. I'm not saying they're an elite team. I'm saying they're better than Cleveland. And also Detroit. is better than there are teams that aren't that good, but they're better than Cleveland. Like Indiana, they're actually a good team. Like you just mentioned, the Carson Burt deal. But Indiana's actually a good team. They're like a 6 seed. You can't forget about certain like that. So,
I definitely think, it really depends on how the East shapes up as a whole, because there are a lot of teams who should be doing better than they are, especially when you look at, like, even the Pistons are doing better than what we thought they would. They had some very questionable signings. Jeremy Grant is showing out.
The Knicks
have the number 1 defense in the entire NBA. I didn't think we would ever say that again.
Hey, look, sidebar. I bet on the Knicks tonight against Utah, right? Bro, I put 100 on the Knicks. If I win, I get $500, bro. I need the Knicks.
Easy.
All I need for them to do is win. I don't care if they win by half a point. Just win. Because the Utah Jazz are on a win streak right now. You know what? The Knicks, yeah, but the Knicks can beat anybody. They can beat anybody right now. They can beat anybody.
And I think
right now.
And I think everybody chastised them. Yeah, everybody chastised the Knicks for what they were doing, how their free agency went, keeping Julius Randle, even though you got Obi Toppin. I think Bobby Portis is like the only one who actually left. So it's kind of like a log jam at some points on there. You still got Frank Ntilikina. You still got Dennis Smith. You got a lot of log jams in certain places.
People gave up on R.J. Barrett after one season. Like that's the NBA for you. Like they'll give up on you after one season.
Yeah, it's because of where he plays at, though. When you play for New York, that's come with the territory.
You're on the short leash.
When you go to those big markets and you fail, that come with the territory, especially in the East. Just speaking on like the playoffs in the East, right quick. I do agree with Left when he was saying, with the James Harden thing, regardless of how he went to Philly, same problem would have came up. I think Philly would have been a better place for him to shine and be the number 1, but I do agree that he doesn't have to be that anymore. And that's a good thing for him.
He just wants to win.
Yeah, he just wants to win. He's happy. Like D-Wade said, I think he's in a great spot for that. And I don't hate the fact that he's there. I just hate that it took a lot. It took all that depth and all those picks to get him there. I think that's my only issue with that trade in general. Looking at the East as a whole, I think, Brooklyn, Philly, Boston, Milwaukee are going to take the top 4. The bottom 4, one team we haven't mentioned just yet is Atlanta. Atlanta was supposed to get over the curb this season. You did all these things to, look better, be great. And they just – it just seems like it's not working in Atlanta. I don't know if surrounding Trae Young with shooters was the right call. He is the shooter. I don't
surround him with defense, like because he doesn't play a lick of it. You need to surround him with people like I'm just gonna throw it out like Robert Covington or Tobias Harris, people who know how to score, but their primary role is defense. Because the problem with the Hawks is they're giving up too many points. They can't stop anything. That's the problem. It's not scoring.
Yeah.
What I will say, because Victor Oladipo said that he don't think he's staying in Houston. So if you want to get value for him, I trade him to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think
Atlanta can use him immensely defensively.
They definitely
could. A scorer.
They definitely could. And looking at Houston's roster makeup is kind of weird because it's like, you traded for Clint Capella last season and he didn't play. He's playing now. It's him, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Cam Reddish, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter. There's somebody else I can't think about that plays for them too. I think Rondo's there. I think Rondo's in Atlanta. So you got a defensive veteran presence, but you don't have enough wing defense as a whole. Like Cam Reddish is not a defender. DeAndre Hunter is not a defender. You have a lot of depth and trade pieces. You got a lot of trade bait, but you don't really have. I don't really know, man. It's difficult to look at Atlanta and see what they can do. But PJ Tucker has been rumored to be on the trade block too. So even if you do trade Oladipo, you got PJ Tucker being able to be moved too. So I think Atlanta has options, and they can get in that top 8, but I don't have them as a top 8 team right at this moment. I think the Knicks sneak in. I think the Pacers can potentially sneak in without Karis LeVert. The Pistons probably, and I would say Charlotte. I wouldn't even give the Magic a chance. Jonathan Isaac still hurt. Aaron Gordon runs out.
Did Did you mention Miami?
I forgot about Miami. Miami is slacking right now, so I forgot about them.
Jimmy Butler not playing though. Jimmy Butler hasn't been playing.
They 6-10, so I forgot all about them. So I'll rescind.
Cam's been out a few games. Everybody's been rotating.
So if I had to take one team out, I say the Pacers won't make it, and I say Miami get back. But I definitely think once like everybody get healthy, things get better. But as it stands, like the East looks weird. The West I can't really speak too heavy on because Phoenix, we were at the top of the West at the first week of the season, and then it's just been a shit show since. Lost back-to-back to the Nuggets in OT back-to-back games. Can't stop Jamal Murray from scoring. The Chris Paul audition's been cool, but we can't score. We can't stop people. We don't have enough depth to make it work. Trading Oubre kind of hurt. It's a lot going on in Phoenix, and I don't know if there'll be a top 4.
Oubre trade I wouldn't have done.
I think to get Chris Paul, it had to be done contract-wise. You don't want to give up Cam Young. I get it. I mean, Cameron Johnson, I get it. I get it. But I just think the West is going to be wonky. You're going to have the Lakers. You're going to have the Clippers, regardless of who's healthy and who's not. It's after that gets crazy. The Nuggets, we think they're going to be back as a top 3 seed. The Blazers, if they get healthy. Dallas is definitely going to be in the playoffs. KP is back and healthy. They made a great draft. I can't remember who they got in that Seth Curry trade to put along Luka, but we were all praising it.
Josh Richardson.
Yeah, Josh.
Jay Rich. Yeah, that was a great deal for them. So I think it gets better over time for Dallas. I think Houston is going to miss, and I think they should on purpose. Honestly, just build your stock, go from there. I mean, who else in the West makes it? That's where I'm stuck at.
I mean, you got, for me, I got Lakers, I got Clippers, I got Mavericks, I have Jazz.
I sleep on them a lot because Rudy Gobert just so bad to me.
They're just a quiet team.
Yeah, they always make the playoffs for some odd reason.
All right, so this is the thing. This is the thing. You got Golden State at the 8th seed right now at 9-8. You got Phoenix at the 7th seed right now at 8-7. You got San Antonio and Dallas knocking on the door. From 6 all the way to 10, it's only a 2-game difference. So you got Dallas not even in right now, but that's going to change. Memphis is 7-6 right now. Do you really think they're going to sustain without Ja Morant? Is the question.
No.
But he's back. He's back already.
Oh, he's back? Oh, man. Okay, well, hold on, because you got Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, Nuggets, Trailblazers, Grizzlies, Suns, and Warriors. Then you have the Spurs and the Mavericks. After that, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay,
I can't really count the standings in the beginning of the season because I'm seeing, because I play the fantasy basketball shit, so I see lineups that a lot of these games aren't happening because of the protocols and people still being hurt and shit like that. Yeah. So record-wise, right now, a lot of these teams do not reflect the record that they have. But I have Dallas as a 3rd seed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm about to say the top 5 is pretty much set. The Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, Nuggets, and Trailblazers, they're going to be there. But
it's that bottom 3 that you can't predict because they're always so close. Yeah.
Pause. But before we move on, let me say one damn thing. Let me say one fucking thing. People are going to stop disrespecting Steph Curry. Speaking of the Warriors.
That has to happen,
that disrespect has to stop. Seriously. People have to stop doing that. He has a couple bad games, and then people want to say, told y'all he can't carry a team, as if 2015 and 2016 didn't happen.
Man, you preach to the choir.
People are so fast to forget because he broke his freaking shooting hand for one season he couldn't play, and then he had to get back. He had a couple bad games with a brand new team. Kelly Oubre, James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, all these people.
Okay.
But when you actually build the offense around Steph Curry, he does things like give you a career high with a terrible team. I'm just saying.
Okay. I hear you and I agree with you. To make it an argument, was he really by himself in 2015, 2016? I mean, he was built. His team was built around him for him to be the one of the greatest team players ever. I'm just arguing. Like I said, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just arguing.
Yeah.
So let's reword it, right? He wasn't necessarily alone, but he was the obvious leader of the team.
On the floor.
Klay Thompson was the guy who could get a bucket if Curry couldn't get a bucket. That's how, and that's 2015. We're not speaking about after. We're just talking about just 2015.
Okay.
So 2015, Klay was good, but he wasn't great yet. And that's why Curry got that MVP. Iguodala helped Curry become a better leader because he's been there, done that. So Curry had a lot around him that made him a better leader. 2015 showed he could lead a team. The issue with Steph Curry comes with 2016 and that unanimous MVP when they went 73-9, and he couldn't beat LeBron by himself, basically. And the reason I say by himself is because Draymond got suspended. Every time the Warriors lose Draymond, some bullshit happened. Let's look at the game like a couple days ago. Draymond is trying to yell at James Wiseman to get in a better position in the post when he makes that pass that he had a turnover on. Referees give him a tech and kick him out the game. Everybody in the world, a blind person can tell you Draymond was yelling at James Wiseman. But what did the refs see? Oh, you're cussing me out? Get the hell out my game. Every time the Warriors lose James Wiseman, they were playing the Knicks that day. And the Knicks blew them out because they didn't have Draymond. It was a close game before that. As soon as Draymond get out.
Yeah, Draymond does a lot of things that don't show up on the board.
Okay. All right, we're confusing leader with carrying the team. Carrying the team is talent-based. It has nothing to do with leadership.
Right.
Is your talent good enough to carry a team where there is less than none talent around you? Right now, he's the best talent on the team, hands down.
I feel like they go hand in hand, though.
Close to him.
I feel like they have to go hand in hand, though, because LeBron. Let's look at LeBron, though. LeBron got all the talent and is a great leader, bro. How the hell did LeBron get to the finals with that team after Kyrie was gone? That team had absolutely damn near no talent.
And how did he get
he
to
had to rally
the
the
finals?
troops, though. It wasn't just him.
Yeah, that's my point. Steph had to do the same thing.
He used his talent, but he used his talent.
There's been countless
and everyone
games
around him got better. When he went to the finals in 2007, his second best player was Larry Hughes.
Yeah,
Larry Hughes was over the hill, but
that was a very bad East. I agree with you.
But LeBron's talent got them to 62 wins. Can you carry a team when you don't have nothing around you? Clay, Draymond, at the time, Harrison Barnes, he had Kevin Durant. He had help around him. I'm not saying that he can't carry a team. We haven't seen it. So I'm not saying he can't carry the team. I said, can he carry a team?
But
it's to answer the question. That's all.
Okay, but to counter argue that, how can you say this dude hit my phone? To counter argue that, how can you say he didn't have? Nobody knew who Klay Thompson was in 2015, bro. He was just 3-and-D. Everybody knew Draymond Green was not a scorer. He was just a vocal leader. Who did Steph Curry have besides Harrison Barnes?
Who didn't know about Klay Thompson?
So now we're gonna act like everybody knew who
Klay Thompson was a bucket in college. What are you talking about?
Well, okay. To be fair, we might have known that because we keep up with it, but the entire world didn't keep up. That's what he's trying to say.
I'm talking about from a basketball fan's perspective, not even in depth. When you watch Steph Curry play in 2015, it was all Steph Curry. Klay did his job as the secondary scoring option. But just because you carry a team doesn't mean that nobody can help you. That just means that you are the undoubted leader. You are the leader on the team. You are the best scorer on the team. You're the best talent on the team. We need you to take us there. That's what carrying the team is. It doesn't mean that you can't be a leader at the same time. Steph Curry was the leader on the floor. Draymond Green was a leader in the locker room. But on the floor, you played through Steph. Steph Curry we would go as far as he would take us. Period. Mm-hmm. He carried them in 2015, and he was the unanimous MVP for that. Even though LeBron had a hell of a season, Steph Curry was unanimous MVP because he carried the team. Nobody had them getting to the finals. We talking when the Spurs were still good.
Yeah, nobody had them going to the finals that first time. The very first time they got there, nobody had them going to the finals. The very first.
Obviously, once you get there, you put the world on notice. They're like, okay, the Warriors are probably going to go back. They're probably going to go back because now we see how good they are. And then they do go back and lose to LeBron. You know, and then it's not Steph Curry's fault that Kevin Durant was going to go there anyway. Guess what? Steph Curry's the reason Kevin Durant went there because Steph Curry's the reason they lost. They were up 3-1, but guess what? They couldn't do nothing with Steph. OKC couldn't do nothing with Steph. So if anything, that proves even more of a point. Steph Curry's that good that Kevin Durant was. If I can't beat him, I'll just join him. He wouldn't have went there if Steph wasn't there.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole different. It's a good point to make though, and it's a whole different conversation. But I think at the end of the day, we got to understand that the Steph Curry disrespect got to stop.
That's my whole point. It was all about.
Like I said, I agree with y'all. I was just arguing with you. But what I'm saying
and I'm kind of arguing. I'm just letting. This is what I'm saying. Like,
all I'm saying is, it's telling me. Hold on, I gotta bring back what you said.
Bro, what I'm saying, every point I just made was my point in saying that Steph Curry needs to stop being disrespected. He beat Kevin Durant and made Kevin Durant come play with him. He beat LeBron. He won 2 MVPs. He broke his wrist, came back and dropped the career high 62 when people said he was done. He can't lead a team. And now this guy with Andrew Wiggins, who's washed, Kelly Oubre, he's not washed, but he's not Kelly Oubre. James Wiseman stepping up. Draymond Green is inconsistent. No Klay Thompson. But they're winning games. Why is that?
Okay, that's what it is. I was going to ask, are we valuing Steph carrying a team to the finals or to the playoffs? Because I just want to see him get this team to the playoffs.
I would say to the playoffs at this point because we're judging Steph Curry right now. We're not judging the past Steph Curry, but we are highlighting the fact that Steph Curry was able to do a lot of these things in the past because he is Steph Curry.
Yeah, but Steph Curry with his teams, they was not, and it wasn't like they were 13 and 60 every year. They were making the playoffs. I'm not judging them by the finals. I'm not judging them by that. By that team, yes, with Klay there, with a consistent Draymond, with the team that they have, yes, they can arguably be at the finals. What I'm arguing is with none of the talent that he's been used to having around him, can he get this team to the playoffs? Can you carry this team to the playoffs?
But yeah, that's the point I was making. Yeah,
that's all I'm asking.
People need to stop disrespecting him because when the Warriors are in the playoffs, even as an 8th seed in the West, that's good.
If he can take this team to the playoffs, and I would never have an argument. I just want to see, can he? I didn't say he can or can't. I said I just want to see if he can.
I mean, we gotta remember that he has carried the team to the playoffs. The Mark Jackson year, he carried them to the playoffs that year. Even though Klay wasn't Klay at that point to the way we know him, he did carry them to the playoffs. Did he lose second round? He lost second round, yes, but he did carry them to the playoffs. He's carried them before. But as of right now, I think the question that we're trying to get to is, can he carry them now? And that'll be to be determined. That's what I will say about that.
But I think he can, me personally. But yeah, like you said,
I hope he can. I'm not saying he
I think we all hope he can, but
if he doesn't, then we have a new argument. If he can't carry him, then we have an argument.
Because to combat the argument as well, Steph didn't have the stature he had in 2015 that he does now. Now that you're at that pedestal, can you carry this team to the playoffs?
That's true.
It doesn't combat what he's done, but to the name that you are now, to arguably the 3rd, 4th, 5th greatest player of all time. Now you want to bring this up. Okay, carry this team to the playoffs.
I think
then we can sit there and say, okay, now we can have these conversations.
I can go for that.
I put my money on it that he could. I think he can.
I hope he can. I answer everybody's question.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit there and jump the gun and say, he can't take this team to the playoffs. I hope he does. If he does, then what's there to argue about?
Yeah, I think it happens, but like you said, we gotta see what happens, and we gotta just play off of how things go. But I think he will, and that's where I'll leave that topic. Moving on from the NBA though, because we talked a lot about basketball. I kind of want to get into the NFL. We just had championship NFL Sunday, and I am pissed. I'm pissed. Let me ask y'all a serious question. If a coach fails his team in an obvious winning situation, should the coach be fired?
Absolutely.
I don't care how far you make it. Should you be fired?
Absolutely.
See, hold on, wait a minute. if it's regular season, no, because you can experiment in the regular season. But when it's win or go home, and you do some obvious shit because you're trying to be
Yeah,
whoever you're trying to
out of
be,
here.
and then you lose when you should have won this game, just keeping it simple, yeah, you gotta go.
That
But regular
shows
season,
me.
I get it. But when it's win or go home, yeah, yeah,
That
you
shows
gotta
me
go.
that under pressure at the toughest moment, you're gonna make the worst decision. You're
Bruh,
gonna
okay.
absolutely make the wrong decision.
I just want to make sure I'm not
Oh,
crazy. I think Matt LaFleur deserves to be fired. It is what it is.
And
I
I love Matt LaFleur. Back to back NFC championships.
I don't
He's
care.
extending Aaron
I
Rodgers'
don't care.
career.
I don't
I
care.
gotta. That's the thing.
Rex
I
Ryan
knew
did
you were
it.
going to Matt LaFleur, but
Rex Ryan did it, and Rex Ryan got fired the very next year. But I get it. I feel it. I love his innovative offense, but sometimes you're better as a coordinator than you are as a head coach. At the end of the
listen,
yeah,
day, I
Jimmy Johnson
love
got fired after winning the championship. Jimmy
yeah,
Johnson
and
got fired.
George Seifert was put right in place, and they went back and won that shit again. I don't hate Matt LaFleur. Let me clarify that. I don't hate him, but you have arguably the third greatest quarterback we've seen play as we were alive. The third greatest. I'm gonna say that because I'm gonna give all due respect to Tom Brady. I'm gonna give all due respect to Peyton Manning. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this season. Next Saturday, before the Super Bowl, when they say MVP, Aaron Rodgers is going to get handed this trophy. That whole sequence of events, that second down, RPO, Alan Lazard being a not bad receiver, but not good enough. You don't have your head up, and you don't get that pass. That's one fuck up. The second
Wait, before you go further, okay, the only thing I can say about that, the only thing I can say about an RPO is if it's designed to be a run, it has to be some sort of cadence to know.
And that's why I blame him not being that great a receiver, because I agree with you. But again, here's my problem, Left. He ran a slant. When you run that play back,
You should
he ran a
always be
slant.
looking at the quarterback.
Thank
Always.
you. That's my entire point. There's no
Absolutely.
reason you ran a slant with the intention to block. If your head is up, you're not going to get cracked back because he can't get cracked back. They can't crack back you because it's illegal. It's a flag on the other team. All you got to do is pick your head up, put your hands up, catch the ball, touchdown. That's all I'm saying. He literally had a free touchdown, and he doesn't get it because he's not looking for the ball. That's on Lazard. It's not on Rodgers. That was a great play design. That should have been a touchdown, though. Here's where my issue with Aaron Rodgers comes in. 3rd and 8 to go. Last week versus the Rams, you took off. You pumped fake Leonard Floyd. You got a touchdown. You had nothing but green grass, Levante David, and Devin White double-teaming Devontae Adams. You take off.
You had a dumb.
You could have cut back in. You could have cut back inside if you can't get to the edge. Or you can run to the edge, get out of bounds, dive without fumbling the ball, a la Derek Carr, the Derek Carr challenge. And you get yourself 4th and 1. You throw in double coverage on what should have been pass interference or holding, but the refs let them play.
Holding.
You're Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to give you a pass. Run. Take that. You do it in the regular season. This is for a trip to the Super Bowl. Your legacy is tarnished right now because you're 1-4 in 5 championship appearances, and your first one at home after you were caught mic'd up. I gotta get one of these at home. You partially choked it away.
See, okay, agree.
Like,
the only
on,
thing
man.
I can see
Partially
from
choked,
Aaron
though.
Rodgers' eyes, you look at it as your biggest asset is Devontae Adams. So in goal line situations, that's been for the last 2 seasons the best duo in the end zone.
Of that guy.
Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
Correct.
So his B line is Devontae Adams. You don't look at nothing else. Devontae Adams or bust when it comes to the end zone.
He went to it 4 times straight when they went for a 4th now.
Well, no, that was a different one. That was a different possession. The possession I'm talking about is the one where they ran on first down and got stuffed. Yeah, they ran on first down and got stuffed. They ran the RPO where Lazard didn't see the ball coming, and then he had the 3rd down where Devontae sat at the end zone line, was double covered by Devin White and Levante David, and he had a lane to run. Instead of running, he threw the ball to the ground.
Right.
It should have been a holding call, but it wasn't one.
But with him thinking, but with him thinking that, okay, if I don't get this touchdown, I still got 4th down to go for it. So I think if he knew ultimately that if I don't get this, they're going to kick a field goal, I think he would have ran. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt in that situation. He would have ran had he known that they were going to kick a field goal right after that. They weren't going to go for it.
I can respect that.
He's like, okay, let me get this touchdown, but if I don't get it, I get another opportunity, and I'm almost 1,000%. If he gets another opportunity in that end zone, he's going to score. Because he just missed Devontae Adams on that quick out. Just missed him.
I respect that. And I feel that. I can respect that highly because that is very true. But nah, man, I just think that, I'm not necessarily mad at Aaron Rodgers for the entirety of the game. Being down 28-10 was a deficit. And the fact that you got it to 28-24, I just think LaFleur has to understand, as a coach in the NFL, you have to be aggressive in the playoffs. Like, bro, I just think at some point, I don't know why we don't hold the coaches fully accountable in the championship games. Like, Sean McDermott got the same kind of disrespect. Why are you kicking field goals? This is the Chiefs. And speaking on the Chiefs, bro, y'all correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if y'all agree. The Chiefs are the worst team to play in the playoffs by far. Because you have to outscore them.
Oh, you mean worse in that aspect? Okay.
Yeah,
they score so easily. Bro. They score so easily.
Bro.
Travis Kelce is unguardable. Tyreek Hill is
You're down 24-0 to Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. And you fire off 41 straight points.
Yeah.
What? 41? Bro, I would never want to play Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm going for it on every 4th down. If I get fired for being an aggressive head coach, bro, fire me then. I don't care. That shit nuts.
You beat the Chiefs by keeping them off the field. Like Tom Brady, he knows. Like Tom Brady knows clock management is the key to beating Kansas City because they will run it up on you every possession. Buffalo had them 9-0. I came back, it was like 24-9. I was like, what just happened?
Bro, mind you, Kansas City gifted them that touchdown. That's the crazy part.
I'm talking quick bathroom break, bro. I come back and the Kansas City ran it up. Like, what?
Bro, beat their ass.
And that's funny because if I'm not mistaken, I think every playoff game Patrick Mahomes has had, he's been down in the first quarter.
Yes, he has.
He's never led.
He's never leading in the first. He leads second quarter on and wins. That's it.
His team is never the first team to score. Man.
Their defense is inconsistent at times, so. You're probably going to score first. If you play them, you're probably going to score first.
Yeah, you got to keep the field on gas. You have to. They're going to give you a lead.
Because then you get Mahomes on the field. Now he's rallying everybody because he's turning up on the field. Like, he's doing everything. So now the defense is like, okay, we got a breather. We got a breather now because they're going to drive up the field. It's rare that Kansas City goes 3 and out. They give you about 7 or 8 plays before they punt, at least. So, your defenses, they got gas. Even if they don't score, they're going to run clock. Like, Andy Reid is very smart. Like, if they don't score, they're going to affect you in a different way. Yeah, they're going to affect you in a different way. And I love it. Just watching the game, just watching them play. Like, the trick plays are so simple, though. Like, smoke screens and pitches. Like, look, they're so simple. But you don't know what's coming because the dynamic of the offense. You don't know who's getting the ball. And then you got Miko Hardman, who had a bad start, but then turned it around. Like, they have way too much on offense. They have way too much. And you got Tyrann Matthew on defense rallying the troops.
He's Sammy Watkins. Once he come back,
it opens the field up. It opens the field up dramatically. More. But the craziest part, speaking on the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, the funniest thing to me, and I know this is going to pain some of our Pittsburgh Steelers watchers, bro. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed are you? Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown is guaranteed a goddamn Super Bowl ring. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed are you? Because, like it's just funny,
like,
bro.
They guarantee the Super Bowl ring, and y'all haven't been back in like 11 years. Like, that's crazy.
Bro, I would be angry. I would be angry, man. Oh, my God.
Why did they sign Dwayne Haskins? Why did they sign Dwayne Haskins? Why?
I think they realized that, Mason Rudolph might not be the answer. And they've had trouble trying to find a replacement for Ben after all these years. You've done the Mason Rudolph thing. You drafted Joshua Dobbs. You thought he'd be okay. I think they did Kevin Hogan or somebody else. I can't remember who. I don't think they have an answer right now. And I think, this is my bold prediction for this offseason. I think Ben retires.
Very bold.
I think Ben retires because, Marquise Pouncey is gone. DeCastro's up there in age. Villanueva's up there in age. James Conner's obviously not the answer at running back, so you would have to draft a running back. Dwayne Haskins can fit in a Mike Tomlin system. Keep it simple. Keep it short. Give it to the running back. Golden. You got 2 receivers you can rely on. You got a tight end who's halfway reliable. Halfway because Eric Ebron hands do not work. Left, you would know. So I think Dwayne Haskins is a good fit for them. I just think that Ben is going to pull the plug on his career. It's just my thoughts.
I don't think his ego is going to allow him to do that.
I mean, he did. He was hurt for last year, the year before last, so I feel that. But I think, pride aside, if it's not now, then this next year is his last year.
For sure. I feel like they should.
I was going to say if Brady wins this year, Big Ben's probably going to hang it up. Because at this point, it's like, okay, I can't beat this guy. Nobody can beat this guy. I think if Brady wins, even Mahomes, like, it's a lose-lose for him. Yeah, he's retiring. Like, because he can't compete with these guys no more. He's not that good no more. He can't compete with you. He can't compete with Mahomes.
Yeah, we can see that logically, but his ego don't see that. His ego don't see that. He said, I went 11-0 this year. I can still beat these guys. That's
but let's be fair. He went 11-0 behind that defense. Every time Ben does great, and I've said this about Ben his entire career, Ben got gifted with a great defense that allows him to game manage like Tom Brady does. The same shit we say about Tom Brady and his game management on those years on the Patriots, on those Super Bowl years by the defense, is the same thing Ben go through. You only gonna go as far as your defense allow you. That Seahawks year,
agree.
That defense carried them to that Super Bowl. When they played Aaron Rodgers, though, and that defense couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers, it showed you Ben can't win you the game. Ben won the game versus the Cardinals, yeah, okay, but the defense didn't help you there. That's the one that you won. I give you credit. But
Ben is not going to retire. His ego's not going to let him retire. Pittsburgh should move on from him. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the only way. If Pittsburgh moves on, that's the only way. But I don't think he's going to give up on Pittsburgh.
His ego is not going to. Just because of what if he'd have went 6-10 this year or 5-11, they would have hung it up. But the fact that he went 11-0 on a sweet ass schedule, I still got it. I got at least one more year on this.
Nah, I can't, man. I can't say that because I'm that guy that's gonna be this one right here, right? We know for a fact. Ben is not the reason they were 11-0. He was the reason they were 1-6 or 1-5, however it was for those last 6 games. He's the reason that happened, though. I will give you that.
From what we see, absolutely, I agree. But in Ben Roethlisberger's eyes, I still got it. We was 11-0. I got another year left of my deal. Yeah, I'm gonna ride that one out. I can get them. I can do it one more time. That's his ego. We know, nigga, you wash, it's over. Hang it up or go somewhere else.
Yeah, but I don't think any other quarterback in the NFL throws as many ducks as Ben Roethlisberger does. Like Peyton Manning was a duck thrower at the end for sure, but Ben.
Well, he can throw a 60-yard duck. He can barely throw 15, 20.
Ben is out here playing duck, duck, goose. He just don't throw the goose. He throw the ducks only. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's short dick and just passes, bro.
bro.
Like, yo.
But see,
Yeah,
I don't know how much I attribute it to like Juju being at fault for being a TikTok star.
I
And
Can't hate him
then
though because he actually was putting the numbers up. Like he still had 160 something yards. Like like I get it, he brought some attention, but he still did his part. You can't get mad at him. It's not his fault.
he had a bad streak. See, this is the issue I have with, and it's starting to look like AB was right. But you benefit from having a star receiver on the opposite side of the field where you are able to get those free reigns because the attention's not always on you. So you'll have a great season. So then the next year it's like, okay, that person's not here anymore. Can you do it? Can you be the person that can still be a Julio and get 1,000 yards receiving, even though the second man is going to also get 1,000 because he's the one getting double teamed, but he still get his 1,000. Can you be that, Juju? And it's not shown
at all.
Then you had a
Even with
bad
Claypool
season this year, even worse. Now it's like, okay, hold on. Are you the guy? Are you able to validate all of that shit that you was talking that year before? That's why I give so much credit to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is still putting up the numbers without Julio there. Everyone says, oh, Calvin Ridley's doing that because Julio's getting double teamed. Now, Julio played, 5-6 games this season? But
Calvin Ridley got his first 1,000-yard season. Calvin Ridley was getting open on double team still. I just think that looking at Atlanta's offense compared to Pittsburgh's offense, it's very ironic that Calvin was able to do that without Julio and is able to do it with him. Whereas, Juju can't do it with or without a secondary anything. Claypool broke out. I love that pick for the Steelers. I think Claypool was going to shine.
Did he break out or did he have a couple of good games? Because it's like he had a breakout game, yes. Then he was quiet for a few. Then he had another good game. Then he was quiet for a few. So it was like, did he really break out or did he just run across a defense where he was able to dominate?
I think he just showed that he can play. He showed that he's not scared.
That's what I'm saying. I just showed he's a good receiver. I don't know if he broke out because it just wasn't as consistent.
Okay, so I'm going to say I say breakout for looking at it for rookies and looking at the rookie receiver class.
The next man up.
Looking as because being a second-round draft pick, we all thought DK Metcalf was going to be great as a second-round pick anyway. Chase Claypool, we don't give that same respect to because he played for Notre Dame and Brian Kelly. You were good enough as a receiver because you played for Notre Dame, number one.
Right.
But I use the term breakout because amongst the rookies from the first round that were picked ahead of him, he did outclass a lot of them. Jalen Reagor, who you mentioned at the beginning, did not do much. Who else was another rookie receiver that didn't really do too much? That his name, Henry Ruggs, hurt, won't do it too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people he did outshine. So I would say he broke out amongst his peers. I would say breakout in that respect, and that's why I say it. Because arguably, when you look at those rookie receivers from this class and you look at who did good, who did bad, I'm going to pull this up right quick now that I think about it. Just looking at the receivers. Let's go to position. Yeah, Ruggs, Judy, Lamb, Reagor. Justin Jefferson, by far and away, the best receiver in the class. Brandon Ayuk, those were all the first-round guys. There were 10 receivers taken before Chase Claypool. You could argue Chase Claypool was like the third best guy from the class, though. You can argue that based on what he did this season, regardless of what happened.
I mean, you can argue Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk was, although he was hurt,
and that's why I was going to go with that. I think when you look at it, far and away, Justin Jefferson's at the top, like far and away.
Absolutely.
CeeDee Lamb, you can argue, was second because of where he played, the system that he fit in, with and without Dak. I would go Claypool third, and then I would kind of figure it out from there. I think Brandon Ayuk did have a solid season, even though he got hurt. I kind of like what I saw from T. Higgins. But then Joe Burrow got hurt, so that doesn't help. Jerry Jeudy could have did a lot better, but, Cortland Sutton got hurt. Denver's offense just looked horrible.
They don't have a quarterback. Had they had a competent quarterback, then I think Jerry Jeudy would probably be number 2.
Yeah, his route running is crazy. He came from that Bama. His route running real.
But you got Drew, elbow lock. He can't throw. It's terrible.
Man, say elbow lock.
Now, if they get Matthew Stafford, I think the chances are a lot better.
I would love to see Denver. I would love to see Denver competing again. Like, I would love to see it.
Yeah.
They get a healthy Von Miller back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The AFC West needs it, man. Michael Pittman Jr. for the Colts did really well, too. He fit really well alongside T.
I love that guy.
Michael Pittman did very well.
I like him in college.
I liked him.
What's going to wind up happening is remember, we still have Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell comes back. Pittman is going to fall into the second slot, which means that we're going to have to run more spread. So you're going to need a pocket quarterback for that.
And the problem with that is T.Y. is a free agent, so he might not even come back.
No, he said he wants to come back. He said he wants to end his career with
just because you want to come back don't mean you are going to come back.
It don't mean if Indy wants to bring him back. That's all there. But he said himself, I want to stay with Indy.
Yeah, there's not really too many better receivers out there. I think Indy's going to try to bring him back.
Yeah.
They got the cap too. I would not even question.
I would bring him back, no question.
Agreed.
It's not going to cost us much to bring him back.
Yeah, it's not his fault. I would bring him back.
He's just quarterback.
Yeah, y'all main focus is quarterback, and it's not looking like y'all are going to be able to get Wentz anymore because we made our decision.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, along with taking some of my.
So it's looking like, but obviously, I'm all in on Matt Stafford if I'm in Indianapolis because that guy would he's the one that can put you over the top. He's better than Phillip Rivers, and he's never.
I just hate the fact that he did nothing with Megatron. That's the thing I don't like.
Right, except help Megatron put up crazy numbers. But he did nothing for him as far as winning goes.
The only thing that Stafford got going against him is that he never won a playoff game in Detroit. And I don't know if that's necessarily his fault or the fault of them not being able to put more talent around him to help him elevate. And he got them to the playoffs,
Right.
But winning in the playoffs, you do need a little bit more talent than what they were giving him.
His offense wasn't never bad.
Correct.
His offensive line could get better, but their defense, Detroit's defense has been horrible since God knows when. Even when they had Sue, it was nothing.
Yeah, Sue and Slay, they had it, and it just didn't work out. Slay left. You replace him with Trufant and Okuda. I think Okuda wasn't even worthy of a top 10 pick at this point. He looked really bad when he was on the field before he got hurt. And I love Jeff Okuda, don't get me wrong. But he just didn't live up to his hype. Jarrett Davis, I don't know what happened. I don't know where they went wrong right there. Gerard Davis does not look right in Detroit. He needs a different system. He needs to just leave. I do agree, Detroit's defense is what needs the overhaul. It's very shocking they hired Dan Campbell, to segue to our next part. It's shocking they hired an offensive coach. They hired Matt Patricia as a defensive coach, and it just whatever,
They will be wanting to go along.
Yeah, I just think Detroit is just a weird place to go unless you have a head coach who wants to actually be there. Them firing Jim Caldwell after a winning season is still mind-boggling. Very. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Jim Caldwell did not deserve to be fired.
At all, bro. But that's something we're not even going to get into. Not today. Not today, Satan.
Yeah, but we will get into these head coach GM combinations that are blessing us in this season, though, with the NFL season. The weirdest thing to me, the very, very weird thing to me, I still want to understand
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull this up before I say this incorrectly. Okay. We have filled 6 of the 7 head coaching vacancies. And if I had to rank them in order from worst to best, the worst signing so far is going to always be the Houston Texans coach because you just lost your quarterback. It doesn't matter who they sign, even if it's Leslie Frazier, even if it's Bieniemy, I'm still going to call it the worst because it's the worst team on paper to look at, no matter what. J.J. Watt wants out. Deshaun Watson wants out. Houston is just somewhere you go just to be a head coach, to get your experience, and then carry your ass.
All right, Houston, like, what was it when you first loaded up 2K? What was that part you had to go to in the neighborhood before you can get to the city?
Oh yeah, Rookieville. That's what Houston is. Houston's like Rookieville from 2K. That's a great comparison.
Oh, yeah.
I think
you go there to get your experience as a coach, but you don't go there unless you're Bill Belichick or somebody like that. You're probably not going to win there because you're not going to get the tools unless you get the rank. But
exactly.
They're going to start finding mostly young coaches, because they're going to try to find that next young coach to build a dynasty with. And those young coaches, they're not going to last, but they're going to get their experience, and then they're going to go somewhere else. They're probably going to get their experience there, then go be an offensive coordinator for the Patriots or something. My point is they're going to grow somewhere else. They're not going to. They're going to, like you said.
And speaking of the Patriots, their GM, don't want to butcher his name, Nick Caserio. He actually came from the Patriots. We know that the Texans and the Patriots have a lot of dealings with each other. Bill O'Brien, the former head coach, was from the Patriots. And now they got their GM and Nick Caserio, who Deshaun Watson had no say-so in his hiring. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out before the draft in April. I definitely think Houston is not the spot to go to. And that's the only vacancy that we still have as far as head coaching goes. The second worst signing, I would say, would be the Lions and picking up Dan Campbell. Being a tight ends coach, I haven't really – the Saints tight ends have always been good in my eyes. I've never really seen the Saints have bad tight ends, so I guess that's a credit to him. But
he's had veteran tight ends. There's never been a tight end that he really groomed out to be.
Yeah, outside of Josh Hill. Outside of Josh Hill, who did he build up? Jared Cook is there now. I don't necessarily think Detroit is a good place to go either, though. So there's that.
With the cap space, you do have a lot of questions. You can actually build young with Matthew Stafford wanting to be moved.
You have the number 7 pick.
Galladay.
Yeah, you have a number 7 pick in the draft, and you have to use it on a quarterback. And you're basically praying that either not Jacob Eason, I'm sorry. Was it Zach Young? What's his name? Is it Zach Wilson from BYU?
Zach Wilson from BYU.
So you're praying that Zach Wilson or Justin Fields falls to 7. You're literally praying on one of those outcomes at this point.
I'm still trying to figure out how Zach Wilson is. But
I don't understand the scouts either. It's the same way that people pick Trubisky over Watson and Mahomes, but I like Mitch Trubisky, don't get me wrong, but I was not taking him at number 2.
But my theory is as to why Mahomes didn't get drafted so high. I think it's because of his school.
And he wasn't a winner. He wasn't a winner at Texas Tech. He definitely wasn't a winner.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the equivalent to Jake Fromm going to Georgia but then having a bad combine, so his stock went down. It's they go off the right now. They don't go off your projections anymore. They go off what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I peeped that from
Patrick Mahomes' best game in college was versus Baker.
Yeah, the Texas Tech Oklahoma game. Yeah,
that's what rose his stock in the draft. Other than that, after that game, he probably would have made with second round, not late first.
Yeah, that was a shootout.
Yeah, they went at it. They was at war.
Respect the Baker Mayfield too, man. Coming from me. Respect the Baker Mayfield for real. I've been shitting on him all season, but I give him his respect now. I'm not that kind of guy.
That's all I've been asking for this whole time.
From jump, I said, I had my gripe with Skip Bayless from jump. I'm not Skip Bayless, bro. When I'm wrong or when I'm proven wrong, I will be the first to say, "Good job. I am proud of you. You proved me wrong."
My man Baker came out here
Cleveland,
and told everybody.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
man
and I
showed
love
it.
that. I love it. Prove me wrong.
Now, I won't jump out the gym and say, yeah, he's the franchise quarterback for the Browns.
I
But
will.
it was the question that answered, oh, is Baker Mayfield even a good quarterback? He can't do these in pressure times. Can he do this? And he checked off the checklist this season.
Baker is the franchise quarterback for them. That question was answered too. He is the franchise quarterback. The problem is now, does he need Odell Beckham? Because he looked better without him. That's a different.
No, he doesn't. He's not that kind of quarterback. He's not like that quarterback where he can handle a diva receiver. He can't handle no diva yet. You know, and I know you use the word diva, but I'm saying like that receiver that needs the ball, like that guy. I need the rock. He doesn't need that on his team right now.
Yeah, he made Rashard Higgins look great at times this season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it doesn't require you to force that ball in. Because in the name of his back don't warrant $100 and something million contract. Where I have to throw this man the ball.
Right, where these incentives and shit.
Yeah, but Rashard Higgins can get 3 catches a game, and he's happy with that. I only got to feed one man, that's Jarvis. And then, honestly, I feel like Jarvis is a better route runner than Odell.
I mean, Jarvis is. That's why he's a slot receiver. He's a better.
But the thing about it is, Jarvis is not a number 1 in my opinion. He's not a number 1 receiver.
Jarvis is weird. It's a weird one.
Him and Devontae Parker to me both are like they're not number 1s, but I mean with the teams that they're on, they are number 1s, but they're not number 1s. Those are complementary receivers. They're good, but complementary. They're not number 1 receivers.
Yo, I love Jarvis Landry. I love him.
Yeah, we ain't got to throw that ball.
I always like those receivers that work, man. But I like those players that just work, yo.
Yeah. Speaking on the receivers from that class, I want to bring it up later. I want to look at and see it. Who do y'all think are the best receivers from that 2014 class? Looking back on it, 7 years now, and obviously, you know, Odell is going to be number 2 or 3 on most people's list, but the number 1 guy, I don't think it's arguable at this point, being Devontae Adams. But later topic. Moving on to the third worst coaching hire, I'm kind of in between because I don't really know if it's a worthy talking point. But Nick Sirianni to the Eagles is the third worst for me because I'm just like.
I was talking to Left about that.
You didn't call the plays. Frank Reich did. So, like, did you scheme Jonathan Taylor and Naeem Hines to look as good as they did? Like, what? I don't know what part of the offense in Indy he worked on. You know what I mean? So, to me, I'm just like.
Maybe he was calling the plays.
What are you bringing to Philly Frank, that they need?
If I'm not mistaken, Frank calls the plays, but pretty much Sirianni draws up the plays. He's the one that's structured certain things in the playbook that catered to Jonathan Taylor, the Naeem Hines.
Oh, that's fire. Oh, yeah, that's fire, then.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I just wish they'd leave my damn coaching staff alone. But I don't mind that signing. It's the thing with the Eagles is you have to, at some point, clean house. You got to figure out what's worth keeping, what's worth letting go.
And speaking to that, you know, Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator, is retiring. So they do have to fill that defensive coordinator spot. If they haven't yet, I haven't heard news on it. So that could lead to them cleaning house. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I think the only no, but like I was saying, I'm still sticking to Carson Wentz being untouchable, man. And I think our front office shows you that, yeah, we made our decision. When they let go of Doug Peterson, they made their decision.
Doug Peterson lost his own job.
Yeah, he did though. I agree, but I'm just saying, like, you know, the speculation was it's going to be WP or Wentz.
Yeah, they did sign. They signed Jonathan Gannon, our DB's coach. They signed defensive coordinator.
Okay.
I know they signed somebody else from us.
How about it?
I didn't keep up with it.
See, we were that's how I know I'm a true Eagles fan because I love what I saw from the coach this year, and so did my team. See what I mean? Like legit, I love what I saw from the coach this year. Surprised me.
Yeah, the Colts definitely shocked the world, putting Phillip Rivers in place in that system and still being able to look as good as they did. I liked it a lot. I was very impressed with Indianapolis and what they're able to do.
I was more impressed with the defense. You know.
So I'm definitely gonna tip my hat to Frank Reich, man, because he's doing a damn thing. Definitely gonna tip my hat.
For real though.
Don't worry about it. Andrew Luck gotta come back.
Well, that's not happening.
Hey, that man long gone, man.
Andrew Luck coming back.
Looking at the fourth hire, I would say the Rams and Brandon Staley. Well, not the Rams. I apologize. The Chargers are taking the Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley and making them head coach. I think it's not a bad move for the Chargers to get a defensive head coach. You know, Anthony Lynn was an offensive coach. The Chargers' issues are never offensive, you know, so I never understood them going after all these offensive coaches anyway. They always go after the offensive guys, and they don't have an offense issue. The defense issue is that guys can't stay healthy. Every single year, somebody on the Chargers defense is hurt. Every single year. Bosa got hurt. Melvin Ingram got hurt. Derwin got hurt. Derwin was gone all season. You had
Jason Verrett. They've always had a problem with the defense, no matter how talented it is.
Yeah, there's no matter how talented that Chargers defense is, they've always had issues, and I've just always tried to understand how that is, and I've never understood why. But I think that them getting a new defensive guy at the helm, I think it may help. It may make things a little bit better. I'm praying that it does for their sake, obviously, because I want to see Chargers succeed. I think Keenan Allen deserves more respect. Yep. I think Herbert's going to be a very, very good quarterback going forward. He did prove a lot of people wrong, me included. You know, I didn't think he was worthy to go after Tua, but he proved me wrong. So I think the Chargers got a good man for what they want and what they need as far as a coach goes. I think they'll be fine.
Wait, but I'm sorry. I'm looking at ESPN, but double back to the Pittsburgh thing. Why wouldn't they go after Ryan Fitzpatrick instead of Dwayne Haskins?
You know, there's an interesting thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick that I think it's like very weird that we don't talk about this enough. You know, as much as he's done on the 8 teams he's been on, you know, he's never made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow.
As much praise as he gets for being a journeyman quarterback, he's never made the playoffs.
But granted, a lot of his career, he played behind Tom Brady. When you played with the Bills, you had to beat Tom Brady. They've never had the team to beat.
Play with the Jets, you had to beat Tom Brady. Dolphins, you had to beat Brady.
He's always had to face Brady, and they've never had a team equipped to face Brady.
That's very true. It's crazy to think about, you know, but it's just wild thinking about it. He would have made it this year if not for getting COVID and losing to the Bills in a blowout where Tua just couldn't get it done.
Now they got Zach Wilson going to the Falcons. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Yeah. I'm not gonna speak on that at all. Speaking on the third best coaching. Listen, bro, I don't even know. I think the third best hire as far as head coaching goes, I'm going Urban Meyer to Jacksonville. I can't put Urban Meyer at number one because Urban Meyer has not been in the NFL as a head coach. So I don't know what he's capable of in the NFL. I know he's very well listened to. He's very well respected. He's a player's coach. I think he'll be able to turn Jacksonville around after a couple of years as long as his health permits him to keep coaching. And he's gotten put into a very good spot with Cap and the first overall pick, which is presumed to be Trevor Lawrence. Trent Baalke gets a shot at being a GM again after ruining the 49ers franchise a couple of years ago. But I think Jacksonville is a place he can get it right. Hopefully.
I mean, if you're going by resume, He probably has the best resume.
Yeah, I think
Truthfully.
Urban Meyer and Jacksonville has a lot of young talent. So I think he's the perfect fit for that team. Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark. I don't know if D.D. Westbrook will stay, but there's a lot of young guys there he can coach up and, get the respect of. I'm not sure how many.
It's going to be like playing college. The gate is all over again for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of his former players play for the Jaguars, or if they're looking to get in some of his former Ohio State guys or Florida guys there if they're still in the NFL. But I definitely think it'll be interesting to see Urban Meyer in the NFL in general. Like, can he do it? I think it'd be very interesting.
Right. I agree.
My second is going to Arthur Smith and the Falcons. And the primary reason I think Arthur Smith gets more credit than people will give him is the Tannehill factor. For the Titans, me and Lev, we talked about this already. Smash mouth football is what Mike Vrabel wanted, and that's what he got. Force Derrick Henry down, run play action, force people to think Derrick Henry's always getting the ball. That always went against them in the playoffs, but in the regular season, it made Tannehill have a career resurgence. And it's just wild to think Ryan Tannehill was out here being a Pro Bowler for the first time after being drafted top 10 by the Dolphins and couldn't do it with the Dolphins and those head coaches. So I think Arthur Smith being the man to, revitalize the play action game in the AFC South and get Tennessee 2 AFC South titles as an offensive coordinator speaks volumes. He was under Matt LaFleur at first, who then left for the Packers. So I think Arthur Smith will be okay. I don't think he'll have great success in year one for the Falcons, especially if he doesn't get a running back. And I don't think he'll get a running back. But I think we went after a lot of defensive coaches in almost all our hires. Once Bobby Petrino got fired, we got Mike Smith, defensive guy. Mike Smith is gone, you go get Dan Quinn, defensive guy. And both times, the defense didn't get better. So why keep going after a defensive coach if you're not going to work on the defense? It's no point. I don't get it.
The only thing I ask is why? Why? What did his resume show to anyone?
I just told you, if you can revitalize Ryan Tannehill, you can make anybody look good. That's the thing. He played into his strengths.
Not bad, though, was he?
That's what I'm saying. Ryan Tannehill wasn't a terrible quarterback. His stunt in Miami, they had a terrible OC. He goes to Tennessee. The play action is so plain and simple. It's nothing. Y'all need to shake it up. I would have definitely went for Bieniemy before I went for Arthur Smith. Only because although Andy Reid
it's gonna be hard to get Bieniemy out of KC. I think that was a thing that nobody was willing to wait on. And I also think that looking at it, Bieniemy does draw some crazy play designs up. I agree with that. But so does Arthur Smith. Tennessee had some crazy play designs that worked out. I don't think it was the best decision, but it was the best decision at that time. Being that Bieniemy, that's just what I think, though.
See, but then what I look at is, okay, you say the play action, Arthur Smith was good with it, but he had the competent talent to make those. You don't have a running back. So it's not no matter what running back you get, that person has to sell it. Derrick Henry has a stature where you have to stack that box when he gets that ball even close to his vicinity. You don't have a running back like that. There's not even a running back in the draft nor in free agency that can accommodate what Derrick Henry does.
I disagree.
Who?
Aaron Jones is a free agent. I ain't saying we got the money to get Aaron Jones, but all I'm saying is if somehow the money get made and Aaron Jones can get to Atlanta, Aaron Jones showed out this year. The Packers line ain't that much better than the Falcons line is. It ain't. All I'm saying is you're right about the running back piece, but that's because they don't trust the running backs that were already in the room. Ito Smith could have been a starting running back without Todd Gurley ever hitting Atlanta. But what did Dimitroff want to do? Waste money. We're going to go sign Todd Gurley. And now
That's
Dimitrov
all
got
well and
fired.
fine. That's all well and fine. But Ito Smith is not going to be the person that's going to force you to stack the box to sell that play action.
Hey, look, they said the same thing about Baker Mayfield not being the guy to lead Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, and he did it. I'm not saying Ito Smith is going to be no great running back, but you got to give him a chance. We have never given him a chance, is my piece. We got to give him a chance and see what he can do. If we give him a chance to see what he can do for us, and then we can go from there. That's
fine.
That's all.
But this is all I'm saying that's going to wind up happening. Okay, you give Ito Smith a chance. I'm not saying he shouldn't. He deserves more. But the moment people are not stacking that box to sell that run into a play action, you're going to abandon the plan. Then it's going to be just like it was before. Pass Happy Matthews, now Matt Ice, and y'all go nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to get something, the fact that Matt Ryan is a threat passing the ball, absolutely. You have to. With the receiving core that you have, and with Matt Ryan, you have to watch the pass. So you have someone that can design plays that warrants, okay, we got to play, then open up the run game. You can get a competent back like Ito Smith. You can get a decent 600-700 yards for the season, and you have a complete offense. To try to flood into a play action system, not having the running back that warrants you to, I got to play up because I got to watch this run, to me is pointless.
I mean, I put it like this, right? And was Michael Turner ever a competent running back before he got to Atlanta?
Never heard of him.
Okay, that's my point. Michael Turner backed up LaDainian Tomlinson, left San Diego, came to Atlanta, became a household name. He even had a nickname, Burner Turner. You know what I'm saying? And that was in Matty Ice's early years. So it's my point of view on it is being that we have to give it time and see what happens. I agree with what you're saying. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You're correct. We don't have no running game. We don't even have a substance of a running game. I agree with you. But we got to give it a chance. We got to see what happens. We can't just, we can shut it out based on the past, but right now we have to see what changes he implements to see what the running game can become. I can't go off what Dan Quinn and Dimitrov did and what Raheem Morris did. I got to see what he can bring to the table with the running backs in the room. So if Ito Smith decided to show up and, I can't think of his name right now. I just know his first name, Brian. I can't think of him, number 23. If whatever he can bring to the table, then cool. But, for the now and them trying to play to the strengths of our offense, Julio got to get healthy. Russell Gage got to prove he can be a consistent slot receiver. So there's things he got to work on for sure. But I think he was the right man at the right time because Bieniemy wasn't available.
I just look at it as, okay, you bring up Michael Turner, but what Michael Turner wasn't a gap running back. He was an outside back. Arthur Smith's specialty is the A gap. Running back like what Todd Gurley used to be, and a Brandon Jacobs, or at most maybe even a Saquon. Saquon ain't too much outside the box.
He's a zone. He's a zone running scheme coordinator. By and far away, he's zone scheme like hell. I'm with you.
Now, if he's able to adjust that, then we got a different conversation. But if he's going to be stuck in his ways, and this is the system I'm bringing in, y'all just don't have the
year one. Oh yeah, year one we don't. We don't in year one. I'm with you. I agree, and that's why I think over the years to come it'll be right. Just like my number one choice is Robert Saleh going to the Jets. I don't think right now. Of course, the Jets don't have shit. But now you got the rumors out there. Deshaun Watson wants to go to the Jets. What? Deshaun Watson wants to go to the Jets? Richard Sherman endorsed players going to the Jets. Allen Robinson is a free agent who's going to get out of Chicago and wants to go to the Jets. You have all this money in New York. You got Joe Douglas. You have all the potential in the world, right as it stands. Robert Saleh has the best head coaching job as it stands to be a rookie head coach right now because players want to come play for you.
But if you're Houston, do you want Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I
In all
do
honesty,
because
You don't got a choice at this point unless you get
I
Stafford.
I don't think he's bad. He was just on a bad team in a terrible situation. Same thing as Ryan Tannehill. Look at him. Look at Tannehill now.
Yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold's bad at all. I don't hate Sam Darnold. I just think the Jets didn't surround him. You drafted
Right.
receivers and stuff, okay, cool, but you let Robbie Anderson walk. That was his best target. Why you let Robbie Anderson walk? What are you doing? I mean, it worked out because he didn't play well for Carolina. I mean, it worked out for them, obviously. But you have the number 2 pick in the draft. You have another pick because of Jamal Adams. So you have the draft capital to get Deshaun Watson for free, basically. You know what I'm saying? So you basically can just let Deshaun Watson walk right into your hands if you're Joe Douglas. Oh, we'll give you pick 2. We'll give you whatever this playoff pick is Seattle got. And you give us Deshaun Watson. The Jets are a walking masterpiece right now, if you ask me. Robert Saleh walked into gold. Robert Saleh walked into gold, bro. Somehow, some way.
I hope it happens. Get his ass out of my division. I hope it does happen.
Yeah, bro. Deshaun Watson to the Jets is like a foregone conclusion, unless Miami decides to give up pick number 3 and which is the Texans pick, ironically. So let's put it like this: are you giving up Tua in pick 3 or Sam Darnold in pick 2 for Deshaun Watson? It's really just a debate right there. You're gonna get crucified if you go the Miami route. You get crucified if you go the Miami route because you basically traded your pick away for nothing to get it back for your quarterback. Remember, pick number 3 is the Houston pick that they traded away.
I mean, you could look at it that way, or you were trading that pick for a franchise quarterback and you wound up getting a franchise quarterback. I mean, no matter how the road that you took to get there, you got a franchise quarterback at the end of the day. If you're Miami. You know, you had Tua. You used Tua. You built Tua up. You used them as trade bait, and you got Deshaun Watson. To a lot of eyes, that's great. That was a smart move. You built up capital, and you traded him, and you got arguably the 4th best quarterback in the league. From when you had next to nothing and God knows how long, now you have somebody that could be here for the next 10 years and potentially arguably battle for a chip. Miami's good. They got a consistent quarterback. They get another receiver or another offensive option, and they're arguably within the top 4. So I don't see it as a bad deal, but
I think you can't go wrong either way.
I think Houston gotta. I don't want to say Darnold is the answer for Houston. I mean, Houston's gonna.
I think Tua is a better option in that deal for Houston than Sam Darnold.
And speaking on why Tua's better, Will Fuller's a free agent too, and Brandon Cooks is the only receiver. Him and Kiki Coutinho are the only receivers on the contract. So I do think Tua would make more sense because you can develop him under your
and on
head
top
coach
of that,
pick.
if you get Tua, you got a little more time before you got to pay him, which means you could put more money into signing wide receiver help. I mean, they can go after Kenny Galladay now. They can go after, Tua. He's a number one pick. So you're looking at maybe 2 more years before you really got to pay him.
Yeah.
So you got some time to flex with that money and build the offense around him, and then finally pay Tua.
Yeah, that's true.
Because even once J.J. Watt leaves, if he does leave, that frees up more money.
Yeah, that's very true as well. I mean, I think Robert Saleh has the best. I just want to say he has like the best chance at succeeding first, if you will, based off that cap room. I mean, C.J. Mosley got hurt, didn't play. Quentin Williams didn't really do too much. It's a lot of guys there in New York that can make them look really good. I think they got a lot of potential, man. That's what I say.
If they do trade for Deshaun Watson, either way, that changes the draft for me. Because if Deshaun Watson goes to Miami, that means the Jets are going to draft Justin Fields. That means somehow, some way.
And then Darnold goes somewhere that the two chips what we don't know about just yet are Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford. Until this Deshaun Watson domino falls, Matt Stafford can't fall. Sam Darnold can't fall.
No matter how you slice it, Deshaun Watson's going to get Devontae Smith, no matter how you put it. If he goes to the Jets, they're drafting Devontae Smith. If he goes to Miami's drafting Devontae Smith.
But the problem, I can't agree with you right there because Devontae Smith's going to Philly. He's not going past it. Philly heard too much noise about drafting Jalen Reagor, and they didn't get no production at receiver last year, even bringing Deshaun Jackson back. Alshon old, get out. Gotta go. Greg Ward, he cool, whatever. Travis Fulgham, cool, but you need a threat. You need
Devontae,
a threat.
They have to trade up. They're going to have to trade up. Devontae Smith is not going past the third pick. He's not going past the third pick.
Well, I can't say that because I think you forgot about Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and I forgot.
They got him ranked over Jamar Chase.
1, 2, 3 though.
Jamar Chase is
the 1, 2, 3.
You said what?
Both quarterbacks got to go too.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks have to go as well.
Yeah.
They be off again.
No, but like I said, the Deshaun Watson is the quarterback that they would have to draft. Whether it's Miami, if they decided to draft another quarterback, or if it was the Jets who needed to draft a quarterback. If the Jets get Deshaun Watson, they don't need Justin Fields. Justin Fields drops.
Yeah, but at the same time,
if Deshaun Watson goes to Miami,
the Jets have to trade the number 2 pick for Watson is the problem. The Watson is not – that contract he got isn't cap heavy, but Nick Caserio came from under Bill Belichick. He's not taking anything less than pick 2 or 3 and a second pick, whether it's next year or not, for Deshaun Watson. That's the only thing about it.
It's still Devontae still ain't gonna go no less than third.
He's going. I disagree, bro. Jamar Chase going before him. As much as I hate to admit that, but Jamar Chase didn't play last season. If anything, if anything, Jamar Chase going to Cincinnati. If anything.
Oh, saying
Cincinnati ever improved.
Cincy has pick number 5. They're behind us. You know we don't need a receiver. If we get a quarterback prospect, all right, cool. I think we need to go O-line and get Sewell from Oregon. But ain't no telling right now how the mock drafts are coming out. I just think that the Bengals are going wide receiver at 5. Whatever receiver they don't pick, the Eagles are picking the other one.
They got the Eagles getting Waddle. They got him getting Waddle. And they say Waddle was better than Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
because Devontae Smith had that year. At the end of the day, it's like the same thing with Joe Burrow. I'm quite sure there were other quarterbacks that were better than Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow had that breakout year, which made him a number 1. The fact that Jamar Chase didn't play this year, his draft stock don't drop him all the way into the teens, but Devontae Smith with the year he had and them winning that chip, he's going to go before Jamar.
Yeah, that's true.
Jamar could definitely go to Cincinnati at 6, no problem. I mean, at 5. And then they got Waddle going at 6 to the Eagles, which is not a bad deal. I
just want a receiver in Philadelphia. I just want a receiver.
Yeah, every mock draft I've seen has Devontae Smith fall into Philly, though, because Jamar Chase is going to get picked before him. That's the way that I'm looking at it right now, and I agree. I think Jamar Chase is just going to go before him based off the fact that he's faster and he spreads the field more. Devontae Smith is going to catch more balls because he's got better hands. But in this NFL day and age, bro, it's all about who can spread the field more. Who's more of a Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson-like prospect. And that's the difference between them two for now.
Because right now I got Lawrence going 1. I got Devontae Smith 2. I got Penny Snowell going 3. Justin Fields going 4. And Jamar Chase going 5.
The only way I see Smith – the only way I see Devontae Smith going 2 is if somebody trade up to get him from the Jets. The Jets are not going to draft him. They're just not. It's not going to happen, bro. I just don't see that at all. I don't see it.
It's just like I don't see how the hell Zach Wilson in top 10 anyway. But that's me.
We never know. Quarterback is just the hardest thing to look at. I never understand it.
That's the hardest thing to do. You got to evaluate so many different things.
This one got Zach Wilson going number 2. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
It's very weird. I don't know why, but looking at Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, he got Zach Wilson going to the Jets if the pick's not traded. Jamar Chase going to the Dolphins if the pick's not traded. Trey Lance
going to yeah.
Trey Lance to us, and I'm just like, what? I don't know why we draft quarterback this year instead of next year. If anything, we just need to pick a defender. I think if we pick Patrick Surtain, I'm happy, to be real with y'all, because Isaiah Oliver ain't the answer. AJ Terrell did okay. He dropped the game-winning pick versus the Chiefs, but he got a lot of room to grow. I'm okay with that. If it ain't pass rusher, I go corner. We need a corner bad.
I like Patrick Surtain. I don't know if that's going to be considerably a reach, but
hey, better to reach on a guy who can grow in 3 years than a guy we ain't never gonna get. That's where I'm at.
Surtain is good. It's just it just depends on where he goes.
Yeah, everybody has Jamar Chase ahead of Devontae Smith, regardless of him not playing. That's crazy as hell.
Most of them I see. Once I see Zach Wilson number 2, I don't even care.
You know, speaking on teams that need a quarterback, what is Carolina gonna do?
They're talking about.
I think like Bridgewater. I think they like Bridgewater, man.
No,
I don't think so.
No. They ain't rocking with him. They ain't rocking with him, man. We got any final comments on anything else that we made? You know, I guess I forgot to bring this up. The Cheeto is out of office.
Oh man.
The Cheeto is out of office. Bruh, we lit, man. The Cheeto out of office, man.
See what happens. Box thoughts.
I ain't got too much to say about it. It's you here now. I don't really care to say anything about it, man.
I kind of wanted to see him get dragged up out of there, but hey.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. All right, look, man. We'll definitely be back next week. We're sorry for the wait, everybody. I definitely think next week, you know, I do want to bring up that topic of grade the receivers from the 2014 draft, because Sammy Watkins being number 1 is still mind-blowing, but then when you look at how it's panned out over the last 7 years, man, you could argue some of these names don't belong in this list, but I ain't got no more
Sammy
to say,
Watkins, man. Only time to me that he didn't perform to what everyone thought he would be was at the time St. Louis.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm gonna save it all for next time. I ain't gonna do it right now because I'd be all day, man. I'd be all day. But look, this is the boys from Give Us a Break, man. We're gonna sign off and we'll see y'all next time. We're gonna start off with that 2014 receiver shit because that's gonna be interesting as shit. That's gonna be interesting.
I'm talking shit. I'm talking.
I believe it. Y'all niggas crazy.